Cam, do you consider the H cost for the small hats and the legacy of it and how they move forward from that part of their culture?
Yes.
When I brought the example of slavery, why don't you see that as the same thing?
What do you mean? I said the
You were saying that I
monopoly
was
on
speaking about
the
pain, right?
monopoly on
I
However,
tribulation.
was
me,
speaking about the transition through pain. So
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out where's the disconnect, why you don't see that as also the parallel.
No, no, I didn't. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, no, I'm saying we don't have the monopoly on those things.
Yeah, I never
And
never made that argument. I don't know where this word. Please, everybody, for this
not
conversation,
monopoly. I'm
know the
saying we
word
yeah. Well,
monopoly.
that's
I
what
don't
I
know
was. So
what
that's
it
what I
does.
was saying. One of the retorts would be like the trial and tribulation and triumph. There's a lot of people in the earth that have similar stories. That's all I was saying about because we were saying that that's what makes us unique. And so the trial and tribulation, a lot of other people have very similar, not similar stories, but you know what I mean? Turbulent
No,
stories through their history.
no. American chattel slavery is unique and specific.
No, no, I'm saying trial and tribulation, right?
Right,
Coming
but
through
you're
hard things. Like for instance, uh, uh, um, Attila the Hun, right? How many people Artaxerxes, how many people went in chains, right? So I'm simply saying when those people recount their history, trial, tribulation, and triumph, they would have a very similar outlook as we do. Because we're trying to figure out what is unique to us in terms of culture. I was simply saying those things wouldn't be unique in terms of pushing through trial and tribulation if you ask the people from other cultures. Like the ones you referenced and several other people who were under the Roman Empire and etc.
so the way that they moved post traumatic incident is embraced in it regarded as part of their culture. Didn't we have ways we moved post traumatic incident?
That are, but it's not unique. See what I'm saying? It's not. So
Yeah.
like if you ask the Japanese after World
So
War II, from internment camps to
mhm,
their country being bombed, they're gonna in their schools uphold that is them pushing through trial and tribulation. So when we're talking about black culture specifically, pushing through, other people would say, oh, that's not unique to us.
the way in which they did and the people, what they came out as, right? I,
Hmm.
I sometimes feel like again, we're not using the correct definition for this word, but
Sure.
we're arguing being a monolith. I feel like the two things is where you have to be a monolith and have a monopoly. It's kind of what it sounds like to the people who believe we don't have a culture.
so
And I would argue that the cultures that you would list aren't monoliths either.
Yeah,
You
Right.
have
I don't
That's the
believe.
problem because there's
Let me
no
just clarify
parallel.
this. Oh, my
yeah.
bad. I just want to clarify. I'm not saying that we don't have a culture, but I'm think what we're trying to pinpoint is like what is unique to us, right? But I guess that by saying that by proxy, I'm trying to say monopoly, which is unrealistic. So I catch your drift.
also like
Because
to M White's point, for example, after World War II, you can tell how the atomic bombs affected their culture. That's where Godzilla was birthed from. Just like you can look at our culture and see things that came out of slavery that you can see was like a direct line to slavery as to the reason why we move the way that we move, the reason why
Yeah.
certain churches behave the way that they behave came out of slavery.
Yep.
So it's unique to us for our specific experience, but having something comes having an experience or having a reaction to trauma is not unique. It's our direct response and how we did it that makes us unique. Just like, you know what I mean,
I
Godzilla,
understand.
yeah.
I understand the clarity
so
or the
if we're
clarification.
gonna use that, benchmark, then again, we have to name all the.
Yeah, I would say, your boy DJ Hemp is kind of, or DJ Hemp, right? I don't want to say the brother's name wrong, right? But I feel like he is just kind of pushing, kind of trying to push a definition that it's almost like, I mean, hey man, listen, look, we don't have to monopolize, right? We don't have to monopolize something, for it to fully be our culture, right? And I would just simply say, like this, for example, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but if I go out here and I go invent something, and this is made by me, I'm a black person, and then I started to push it around, only our black folk really buys it, only our black folk, invest into it. you could kind of say that would be cultural, right? If it's been passed down from, generations to generations, and it's really only for Black folk. But of course, other cultures may use it for their personal, their personal gains, their personal use. You would still say that is native to our culture, correct? You would say that's native for us if I made it for us, if it is for us. But once again, it's still shared, right? I will bring up, once again, this is just my personal opinion. So if somebody wants to argue against it, that's fine. I probably wouldn't even disagree with it, because, some people may say, well, you can't say rice is culture, because I'm gonna bring up rice. Somebody could easily say rice isn't culture, right? And I would say to some degree it would be, because that is native to, I believe, China, right? China has a bunch of rice. Anytime you think of rice, you think of China. But of course, it is spread throughout the world, right? So like I said, some could say that that's not cultural to, Chinese or to Asians. I would say it is. But then again, once again, some could say, well, I think you're probably talking about the style of food, right? Because once again, you got Hispanics who have rice, right? A lot of rice is native to their food as well. When you're talking about burritos, when you're talking about tacos, another good example would be Taco Bell. I always throw in Taco Bell because Taco Bell is literally a play off of Hispanic food. It's a play off of Mexican food, which is why you would hear people say, I'm not interested in eating at Taco Bell when I can sit here and spend my money on this food truck here, and they're going to actually take care of my food. They actually care about us because they are a part of our community, right? They're going to take care of our food. They're going to freaking put some love in our food. They may mess around. Hey man, how you doing, man? I seen you here last week, man. Yo, what up, bro? Hey man, listen, you know what I want, right? Hey man, well, man, we got your bready of tacos, man. Hey, listen, and since you came here the last time, man, we're gonna go ahead and give you a street taco. Cow tongue, right? You gotta love that shit, bro. You gotta love that. That's why I say I'd rather spend my money with them than sit here and spend my money at some corporation, man, that's a knockoff, right? That's a great value brand. That's why, like, come on, spend your money with somebody who actually is going to take care of your food, where they actually make that food. That's their culture. So I don't know why you want to sit here and go, to these people, and eat at this restaurant that is just slop. And, and with, DJ Hamp saying what is unique to us, because that's really what he's trying to drive on here, right? Is what is unique to us. You could say, once again, I already brought up, Hispanic food, that's kind of native to Hispanics and Mexicans, right? That's unique to them, which is why I brought up the example. A lot of people saying, I don't want that fake food. Let's go ahead and go over here and let's go get the real food ourselves. You have fufu, which is pretty much unique to your African culture. Yes or no, right? Let me know if I'm wrong, but that is unique to your African culture to the point where I want to try it my damn self. Now, I get it. We don't try that stuff down here, right? But if we are making a bunch of shirts that, is pretty much paying homage to our African culture, our African heritage, where we're creating dashiki shirts, right? We already know that's native to Africa. Then I think we can obviously say that fufu, right, would essentially be a part of our culture. Let's just be real, right? Because that's where if we weren't removed from Africa, that's what we would be eating.
The cultures who have something that is unique in itself, if that's the benchmark we're going to use. For any other culture. You know what I'm saying? If anyone that we're going to say identifies with a culture, then we'd have to say, okay, what do they have unique? And I haven't heard anyone at any point say anything that another culture has distinct to them only, completely unique, that nobody else has. I've heard manufacturing and this and that, but everybody does manufacturing. There's nothing specific to them that we don't have some type of parallel to.
Right. Trev, you know what we've been able to pinpoint? Subsets of cultures having unique, like distinct things from the greater populace.
Right.
Like
that's right.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, but yeah, even the other countries, they have different cultures. Even if you mention Japan, there's somebody in the chat named like 3-4 different subsets of cultures that they have just in Japan alone. So, and every country does, whether it's from religion or just things that they do, different groups. So we all are in that same position where none of us are a monolith.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying was when we go to other countries, we're only able to get a unique thing or a contrast from the subsets. Otherwise, people probably living very similarly, you know, depending on the fruitfulness of the country, you know. But you find distinctness in the subsets, like the Nation of Islam that has, I think, 300,000 people, like the Hebrews, like the Rastafarians, you know. Right. But other than that, he's basically calling everything else no culture if there's not like a clear distinction, you know, essentially.
Man said hard work is Haitian culture. Like dude just trolling. Just like
he said,
like,
what was that?
He was
he
like,
said what?
He said hard work is like everybody knows if you're from Haiti, then you're a hard worker. Hard work is Haitian culture. He just trolling. Dude, right?
He could be trolling, and the only reason I say that is because I really nobody's been able to tell me what his point was. So I know, True, you said you saw the whole joint. Were you able to see what bro's goal is? What's the bottom line? What is he looking to accomplish with all of this?
What I took from what he was trying to do is he was trying to formulate conversations amongst there being somewhat of hate that has been presented from Americans to Africans, and maybe vice versa. It seemed like he was working to dispel some of the negative rhetoric that is shared amongst us, because that's what seems to exist. I mean, I personally have never spent energy or time hating on African brothers or anybody from the Caribbean or anything like that, and I've never received that. So that's why they brought him up. And what he was doing, what I gathered, I watched it twice, he kept asking very distinct things. We did it tonight. We are able to articulate identifiers, but maybe it is because we're in America. Maybe it is harder to stand firm on maybe a monolithic perspective because of the region, because we live in a country that's not dominated by us. We're here and we share, a space. But I've also, again, asked this from Black Americans, what is the culture? And I always pretty much get what I got tonight. It's our essence, it's our perseverance, it's the way we do style. Those are all great things. So maybe it's going to take time for me to graduate to accepting that. I think Bo even said something along the lines of you must hate yourself, which that's painting very broad. I think someone like myself go ahead.
True. Do we have institutions, like academic institutions?
We do.
Do we have fraternities and sororities with unique perspectives and ways in which they do things?
Yes.
That can be universally applied across across America.
Yeah, we do. But
do we have music genres that we created?
We do.
Multiple.
Yeah, we do.
Do we have art styles that we specifically created?
We do.
Dance, photography, and other mediums. That's the definition of culture. That's it. It's none of these other things.
I guess again, and I'll speak for myself. I think to dismiss something like worldview is disingenuous, because that does help, in my opinion, to know how to perceive. And if you've traveled as an American, you don't carry just being Black. You carry your grooming of being here, because we think very different than people amongst all sectors of the world. The way that we live our lives is very different. So that to me resonated with me, and I think it was valid. It's not to say that he's right, but it was like all y'all took was the fact that he's African, and then started shooting at it, being defensive, which I don't really understand why. It's one man's perspective, one man's opinion,
And I honestly think this is where they're referencing the shared culture, right? Shout out to Pretty from, the videos before, even though I talk a lot of smack about it, right? But she brought up that, once again, we have shared culture, right? And I think that's what we're talking about here. They also brought up that negative things can be a part of our culture, where they're talking about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Once again, even though that is a bomb that, your Americans gave them, once again, that is part of their culture that they had to grow from, right? And that will be etched in their memory, and that was negative, right? And as they said, that's something, and as I believe DJ Hemp was referring to, that's something that they had to get over. That's something like a triumph that they had to get over, and that's just kind of like, we don't necessarily have to go through all of that for it to I guess, be cultural. Things that would be unique to different cultures would be, once again, as I stated before, you have your dashikis, that is native to your Africans. You have your bendais, right? If I'm saying the name right, but that is what your Indians, they put on their forehead. That has something to do with chakra, right? When you look at Buddhism, right? I mean, you got Buddha, that's cultural to them. I mean, we can kind of just pretty much pinpoint a bunch of things from everybody else's culture, right? Once again, Hispanic food, that's cultural to Hispanics. Modelos, I mean, you know, once again, we already know about the Hispanic culture. So, you know, once again, guys, I mean, for the most part, you know, it still seems that we still have a different interpretation of what culture is, right? A different definition of culture. So look, guys, y'all let me know down below what y'all guys think. Do me a huge favor, leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. To the next one.